Okay. Well, Wayne, welcome.
Thank you.
Here's how this is going to go. I have the MAC addresses. I have each switch. The names are under each MAC address. What I need you to do is identify the root bridge for each switch. In this entire topology, I need you to converge the topology, meaning tell me which ports are the port states and the port roles. So if it's a root port, if it's a designated port, if it's forwarding, or if it's blocking. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. First things first. Which switch in this topology is the root bridge?
All right. I'm going to try to identify the switch with the lowest. I forgot the word, number. Let's see what we got here. So STP1.
Remember, the rules are you do have your lifelines, but you only can use them every 3 questions.
Okay. Let me see if I can get it real quick. A, B, D, D. This one, just switch 1. 3 and 2 coming out and 0. All right, so C, B, A. So let's go with A being MAC, switch 8, SW8.
Why?
Because it's the lowest, and AA is the lowest number or letter in this case. We have AA. So we have AB, AA, BB, B1, C4. So A is that I don't see any. There's 2 markers that we use to determine. It's going to be the MAC number size, and then the other one's like properties, or what's it called? That identifies some identifying feature. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
priority, the priority number. So I don't see a priority number listed. So by default, I'm going to MAC, and then MAC I'm going with AA because it's the lower of them. So root bridge being MAC AA.
You're positive about this?
Yes, I'm positive about it. I'm going with it.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and name it. Cool. Now, on your root bridge, what are the port states and roles on each of the links?
All right. So GO3, GO1. So by default, the DPs are around it are all going to be so GIO1 and GIO0 and GIO2 and GIO3 surrounding MAC AA will be those will be the DPs all around that.
You said there would be what?
DPs, it's like direct port, and then from there.
I'm sorry. What was that?
What do you call DP? I'm drawing a blank. It's basically everything's accessing it. So there's no block ports. There's no block ports entering it at all. There's no RP. It's just all straight inputs.
Why?
I'm still because
Why?
Because if it's the root bridge, everything's got to come and converge into it. So it's not going to have anything blocked from either side. It has to be able to be accessible from all sides.
Positive?
Yes.
Cool.
So we're looking for root ports for all of these things first. Shall we do after that?
Are you asking me or you're telling me?
No, I couldn't remember. What was the question again? I'm kind of lost.
Yeah, it's all good. So once you identify the root bridge, then you go ahead and identify the port states and roles for each switch. So however you want to converge the topology is totally up to you. You're the engineer in this topology, okay?
Okay. Let's see. Let's go with root ports first. Let's do root ports first on all of them.
Okay. Why?
We have 4 questions that I have to answer when I'm building the network. Who is the root bridge? That's the first question you ask. The second question
Okay.
would be, where are the RPs or root ports?
Okay.
And then next question is destination ports. That's it, destination ports. DPs next. And then finally, once we know that, then I would work on the blocking ports or the non-destinated ports, the ones that are in use or the ones that are blocked. So that's the reason why I'm going for RPs first.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or
Cool.
RP
So we're
second.
gonna. I got you. We'll start off with switch port first. So which one is the root port?
Okay. On the root ports will be the ones that are the side that is what's the word? The word not closest, but cost time is the shortest. I know what I'm looking at. Let's try. So we're seeing. I have a question. I'm gonna ask my first lifeline.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, Samir, we have GIO 3. We have GIO 1, GIO 2. We know we're talking about We're talking about gigabyte. So we're talking about.
Okay,
Are we talking? I'm asking the question is, they're indicating.
You said shortest cost, so what I would have told you as a clue, but I'm not answering your question yet. I'm just giving you a clue to start.
Okay.
You're looking for. I know what you're trying to say. Lowest cost to the root bridge, right? That's what.
Yes,
Okay,
lowest cost.
okay. So now that's your question.
So we have 3, 1, and 2. Ideally, then, even though we're seeing in the map, we're seeing a straight line to this from MAC H5, MAC address H5, which is switch 3, to switch 8. We're seeing a straight line, but we're seeing that 1 is the lower of the numbers. I'm wondering, could we go that direction? But it looks like the straightest line is like 3.
Tell me from which example you're giving. Tell me from which
Switch.
switch.
Yeah,
From the root bridge. Which one? Or from
root
which
bridge.
one to the
Root bridge is SW8 in my topography, and I'm saying if I'm going from SW3 or switch 3 to switch 8.
MAC H5.
Yeah.
Okay.
MAC H5. Yeah. So I'm asking you.
Okay.
We're seeing the speed, or does that GIO3? The question is that GIO3 indicate the speed?
No. So what that stands for is the gigabyte interface.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna assume, and I could be wrong, and Dave correct me if I'm wrong. By looking at this one, because the speeds aren't listed, I'm gonna assume they all have the same speed.
Is that true? Is that true, Dave?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because the
correct.
speed that's just that IO stands for interface. So switch 3, which is MAC H5, has interface 0/2, 0/1, and 0/3. Now, when we're talking about the lowest and the shortest path, I'm gonna tell you this: the lowest cost is always gonna be the shortest trip, like you were saying. So
okay, so that makes sense.
Yes. So yeah. Okay. So perfect. So you could decide then: are you gonna go through 3 to get to 1, or are you gonna go directly there?
Yep. All right. So I'd make my RP 3 to get to from switch 3 on that face going to switch 8. That'd be my RP on MAC H5.
Why?
Because it's the shortest path to switch 8. It's direct right to it, not going through any other switches.
What do you consider the shortest path?
Well, if there was some.
I told you replace shortest. I know I can't say nothing, David. I'm done. What word did I tell you to use besides shortest that's gonna help you stay on track with answering that type of stuff?
Zamir, you can still help them. It's all good.
Okay. I remember I said lowest, because if you use the word lowest, it's gonna help you stay on track.
Okay, so all right, so if it's lowest, then we have interface 0/1 would be lower. So now how do we get there?
No, I mean if they all the same speed, the lowest cost. You don't look at it by interface. I just told you that's just identifying the interface. If you take 0, 1 from switch 3, where are you going? Because that don't go directly to the root bridge. So that's automatically not the lowest cost. That's taking you somewhere totally different.
I got.
You got to go somewhere else and then somewhere else again to get to the root bridge, right?
Well, I'm seeing root in my typography is in the root bridge Mac AA.
Yeah, we all had the same one. So if you're going there from Mac H5,
right?
What's the lowest cost? It doesn't matter about the interface number. What's going to get you there the quickest?
Wouldn't it be just going from interface 3 straight to switch 8? Going
so
that
confidently
way?
say which one is your root port.
Wait, hold on. Yes. Wait a minute. Samir, excellent job. Carlos, I'm calling you in. You there, buddy?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
What's up, brother? Hey, brother. Let's help out Wayne a little bit. Let me ask you, Carlos, how do we determine the cost and calculate that?
Okay, so the cost for the interface, we first need to determine the speed. So the speed for that link, let's say you're working with a gig, assuming that all of these gig, you have 3 speed, right? The 1,000 would of course be 4. That's the cost of that link, end to end. If you're going to take the shortest path to the root bridge, in this case, it's the one with the Mac AA, that's switch A. The shortest path to the root bridge would be from switch 3, of course, to switch 8. If you take any other path, considering that all of these links are the same speed, it's going to be more than 1 hop, right? Just look at it as that.
Yes.
So hops. Way would be, yeah, think of it in hops in this case, because all of these are the same speed, right?
Okay. Yes.
So if you go through switch 4, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 hops. If you just go directly from switch 3 to switch 8, that's 1 hop, right?
Correct. Yes, I see it.
So which one is going to get there faster, considering that all of these are the same speed?
The ones with the least hops.
Yeah. So in this case, just saying in this case, because all of these, considering that the
speed's the same.
Yeah. If you had different speeds, like this one directly to switch 8 was like a 10 megabits per second link, and the others are like a gig. In that case, most likely it would have taken the 3 hops, even though it was more hops because it had more bandwidth. Understood?
Yes, thank you. That's what I was trying to ask when I asked the question to Zamir about the GIO2, if that was indicating the speed of the gig.
Yes.
Like, so yeah,
that's a very good question. If you have like F, that's fast Ethernet. It can also
that'd be 19.
Yeah, so there's actually 3 speeds, right? You have 10 megabits per second, 100 megabits per second, 1 gig.
Right.
Think of it, the faster, the lowest cost is preferred, right? The lowest cost is always preferred. So the fastest link of the 3 of them would be the 1 gig. The 1 gig, the cost is 4. The 100 meg would be 19, and am I getting that right? Yeah.
And a 10 gigabyte would be 2.
Would be at 1,000? Yes, 1,000. So the least bandwidth would have the higher cost because you want to make that less favorable. So you have 3 of them. I can write them out if I remember. 1,000, which is 1 gig, most favorable, has the lowest cost, which is 4. Then you have 100, which is 19.
Yeah.
And then you have 10, which I believe is
100.
No.
Perfect. Carlos, thank you.
Thank you, Carlos, for clearing up. Thank you.
So,
hops.
With that being said,
okay,
Wayne.
Yes.
From what Zamir said and what Carlos said, based on the cost, who's going to be your root port on switch 4?
Oh, on switch 4. So if we go from switch 4, 1 hop, you can go from switch 4 to switch 3, and switch 3 to switch 8, and 2 hops. Boom, boom. You also, it's the same for switch 4 to C7 to switch 5 to switch 8 and 2 hops. So if the speed's the same, then it's either way. It's 2 hops for both of them. They're equal in they're equal in time or
Okay.
cost. Equal in cost. Excuse me.
Okay.
So.
Oh, so can I jump in again?
Nope.
All right. So that's the question again is. So in cost, I'm looking at this. If there, it's going to be, we got 4 and 4 for a total of 8. We have 4 and 4 again going the opposite way for a total of 8 in cost. They're equal in them.
Nice.
So I would go with, just for the sake of it, I'm going to go from switch 4 to switch 3, and then switch 3 to switch 8 to get to my root bridge.
Nope, you're on the right path. So it's not about what you want to do. Cisco created this on purpose, right? There's always a method to the madness in anything within engineering. Okay. So you identified something great. So you did an excellent job. You identified the cost, right? And you calculated it perfectly. And I want you to do that for each switch. But whenever electing the root port, right, or electing a designated port, or doing any type of election process, there's not one end-all, be-all election. There's always going to be a tiebreaker. In this scenario, you identified there's 2 values that are the same. The path, the path to the root bridge. So you have to go to the next tiebreaker.
Got it. MAC address. MAC address.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you, David. All right, so I take that answer back. It's going to be, we have 2 hots. We're going to go from switch 4 to MAC C7 because of its ranking being lower in number. So we're going to go from C7 to MAC AA, which is switch 8. That's my answer. Cost will be 4 and 4, 8. That's the tiebreaker. Positive.
Okay. Cool. All right. C7. Who's the root port on that and why?
Root port on that is going to be on the GIO interface 2 side because it's closest to the switch. So, and that's going to be a cost.
Wait a minute. So
cost
it being
to the bridge.
Closer is your reason?
It's not closer. I'm sorry. The cost.
Okay.
The cost is less.
Compared to what?
Comparing to making it to going, let's say from hopping from switch 4 to switch 3, and then coming to switch 8. It's more expensive. The cost is higher.
What would be that cost then?
It's also more hops too. And this we're talking about. We're talking about this same speed, right?
Okay. Right.
1 hop. So I'm going same speed, 1 hop. That's why I'm choosing interface 2 side of the switch 5 to switch 8.
Okay. All right. Let me help you out. Let me correct you there.
Please.
Give a shit about the hops. Okay. If I wanted to, I can set the speed to each link to 1. From switch 5 to switch 4, and switch 4 to switch 3, and switch 3 to switch 8. I can set it to 1. Even though there's a gig link from switch 5 to switch 8 directly that has a cost of 4, I can set each one to 1, going from switch 5 to switch 4 to switch 3 to switch 8. That path will win. Doesn't matter about hops. The lowest cost is based on that number, okay?
Yes, lowest cost.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. All right, let's do switch 9.
Okay, from switch 9 to root bridge. Let's see. Got A, B, 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 we got C, C. So we're gonna go up to there. Well, cost there. It's gonna be 4, 4, 4 versus 4 only. So I'm going to go from CC to root bridge, which is switch 8. The cost is 4 if I just go that direction from CC to directly to switch 8.
And
That's the
compared to
path.
what?
And compare it to going through either going up to switch 2 or going up to switch 7 and then coming around to switch 6 and then coming down to switch 8. So being that all speeds are equal, the cost is less if I go from switch 9 to switch 8 directly.
Okay, switch 2. Report on that one.
Switch 2. All right, from switch 2. Okay, so being that I'm 2, all right. The cost from switch 2 to go to switch 9, which is max CC, and to switch 8 would be a cost of 8.
Okay.
If I was to instead go from there and make this jump from switch 2 to switch 4 to switch 3, and then to the root bridge, it'd be more costly. So
What'll be that cost?
we have 4, 4, and 4 for a total of 12.
Okay, what about through switch 7? What'll be that cost?
If I go through switch 7, it will be 4, 4, and then 4 for a total of 12. Whereas
What about through switch 1?
if I go through switch 1, it'll be 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So 16. That's the most expensive so far. So again, we have the cost of 8 if I go from switch 2 to switch 9 and switch 9 to the root bridge.
Positive?
So I would, yes.
Okay. All right. Switch 6 to report.
Switch 1. So directly one hop, cost of 4. Switch 6 directly to switch 8.
Wayne, if you say one hop again, we're gonna have problems.
No more hops. There is no hop. It's just the cost of 4.
And compared to what?
In the comparison to the cost of 8 by going from switch 6 for the switch 3 to switch 3 to switch 8. So, and then or going from or going around from switch 6 to switch 7 to switch 9 to the root bridge, which would be 4, 4, 4, 12. So it is the less costly route.
Positive?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Switch 1.
Okay. I'm going to go it'd be a cost of 8 from going from switch 1 to switch 6 and which switch 6 to switch 8 root bridge. So I would take that route.
Which
I don't
interface
see it.
is that?
The root bridge interface. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which interface on switch 1?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you interface 3 side?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Interface 3 side. Yeah.
You said that's your report?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. What about switch 7?
I'm going to take 2 hop. I'm going to go cost of 8 from switch 7 to switch 6 is 4. Switch 6 to switch 8 is another 4 for a total of 8. Oh, hang on a
What
second.
about towards
Before
switch 9?
if I go towards switch 9, we're gonna have a tiebreaker. Okay. So with a tiebreaker, I'm
Okay.
gonna go with the lower number for MAC address, and that would be B1.
Wayne?
Yes, sir.
Wayne.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So let me help you. So we're gonna use, with me, you're gonna use the correct terms because you're gonna be an engineer one day. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So with you being an engineer, we have to use the right terms. So it's not lowest number, it's lowest bridge ID,
Oh, I just-
which, okay, write that down. So the bridge ID is the MAC address, like you stated earlier, and the switch priority.
Mhm.
Okay. Like you stated earlier, you were correct. I didn't state the priorities here, so we're assuming they're all the same within all these switches. So we're just going to look at the MAC address. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, David.
So we're looking.
Lowest
No
bridge
problem.
ID. Lowest bridge ID. Got it.
So based on that, who's going to be our root port on switch 7?
So the port 0 would be where I would put my RP
Why?
because how do I say this? It has the it is the distance no cost. It's it's cost side, the side that I'm using to make my route is the more direct one or least the lowest cost.
There we go. I was gonna say, think about me. That's
Yeah,
the word.
the lowest cost to the root bridge.
Mhm. So why are we talking about cost if we already identified that from switch 7, both costs are the same? I thought we were trying to, using our tiebreaker, which is the lowest bridge ID. Why are you choosing switch 6, which means is switch 7 gigabit 0/0? Why are we using that path instead of choosing the path towards switch 9?
Oh, thank you. Because the MAC address for switch 6 has the lowest bridge ID. So since
Okay.
that's the connecting switch, and that's between the root bridge and switch 7 versus the MAC address of switch 9, which has a higher bridge ID, I went with going with switch 7 side facing switch 6 interface facing switch 6 because of that. MAC
So
B1
B is lower than C?
B1 is lower than CC. Yes.
Sure.
I am sure of that.
Yeah. Switch 3.
Switch 3, we're going to go with interface 3.
Okay.
We'll put the RP there because it's the lowest cost to the switch. That side that's facing.
What cost?
The
What
cost is
that?
the cost is 4 because it's gig speed.
Okay.
And if I was
Cool.
to go on the way, it'd be more costly.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we have the port role. What are the port states?
Port states. Let's go with so we're gonna go with
there are root ports.
all right.
So
So
what are the root ports doing?
Well, one's going to block, and one's going
So the
to
root
forward.
ports block.
No. Root ports don't block. Root ports are all DPs. They're all destination. They're all going out or letting in. Long word. Can you, Zamir? Can you help me use the right language for why I chose the DSG, which I was calling DP? What is the correct language on what I'm supposed to be saying? Because I know what I'm.
Use that for your question. And what's the question?
Hold on, Zamir. Hold on. Claude, I got to call you in. I'm still here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, all good, brother. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull in Claude for you as a extra lifeline, only for this question.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So I'm gonna ask you this question again, Wayne, and I want you to talk through it with Claude. Now that you identified all of your port roles on your switches, which is the root ports, which is what you want to identify first. For those root ports, what is the port states and why?
So we have destination ports, then we have
Designated. We got designated ports.
designated ports.
Right. So let's just take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. You have identified a root port, correct?
Yes, on all of them.
Okay, so that's a state. All right. What is the function of that root port? What is its purpose? Why is it a root port?
It's I can't articulate.
We're not going to use the word hop, but
No.
Zamir talked about the word cost.
Yes, it identifies the lowest cost between the switch and that particular switch and the root bridge.
Okay, so if that is our port to get you to root bridge, ask yourself this question: would traffic be going through it or not?
Yes.
Okay, so we know that the role would be considered as what now? If we say that traffic is going to go through it, it would be in a forwarding state. It would be pushing traffic through. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, now check this out. Check this out. If we got a root port that's pushing traffic through it, forwarding traffic through it, what do we know as far as the type of port that's on the other side of that root port? What do we know about that?
We know that it has to either be blocked or it's allowing traffic to go through.
Again, okay, so if we're allowing traffic to go through, most of our root ports have what other port state on the other side, on the opposite end?
Can we again use the word forwarding?
We can. That's what's actually the role. But
Okay.
what is that port state on the other side?
Look at the topology, Wayne. Just look at it.
Yeah. Look at any of your root ports and see what you got on the other side of it.
All right. So right now I'm looking at switch 3.
Switch 3. What MAC address is that? Let me see.
H5. So since we have two paths it could take. It can go towards BB or it can go towards B1. So one will be blocked and one will be forwarded.
Okay, but let's back this up a minute. You got switch 8 as your MAC address as MAC AA, right? That's your
Correct.
root bridge. All right.
Yeah.
So the question I asked you, what do we have on the other side of root ports, right? So example, take a look at your bridge, your root bridge, right?
Mhm.
You have what kind of ports on your root bridge?
We have
And they're all forwarding.
They're all forwarding, and they're all designated.
Okay, now take a look on what's on the other end of those designated ports. No matter
Okay.
which switch they go to, what do you see?
I'm seeing RPs on all of them.
Okay, so when I asked the question, you got your root bridge that's in a forwarding state, right?
Yes.
So if it's pushing traffic out, if it's forwarding traffic out that RP, out that root port, what's 9 times out of 10, what's going to be on the other side of that port?
A forwarding port.
A forwarding port, so that they can receive that traffic. Now, that's the role. What would that state be? Looking at what you just saw, what's on the opposite? Exactly.
Designated.
Exactly. And we know that the designated is also going to be doing what? Along with the root port. Exactly.
Forwarding, yes. So designated forwarding port means that it's allowing traffic to go through, and the opposite of that would be blocked or not designated.
It would be considered a non-designated.
Okay.
Because a blocked is something totally different.
Okay. All right. So on the other side of H5, if I'm going from switch from H, on the other side of switch.
Okay, so hold on. So let's the questions that David wanted you to address. You talked about port states, right?
Yes.
Your root port, that's a state. Your designated port, that's a state, right? Then he asked you about the roles. What is the role of a root port? It's forwarding.
Roles to forward.
Yeah. What is the role of a designated port?
To forward.
Exactly. That's what he was trying to get you to come around to.
Role of a designated port is to forward. Gotcha. Thank you, Claude.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay, David, I'm ready to answer.
Oh, that was great. That was great. Okay. So go ahead and answer.
What was the question? I'm sorry. What was the question? Last question, sir.
No, that's all good. So I was asking about what are the port states and roles for all the ports that you named for a root port.
Okay, so
I labeled them all. I labeled them already, and I made them a forwarding. So they're in a forwarding state. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So now, right, what we did is we converged the first half of it, right? We identified your root port, the path that your switches are going to take to send traffic, okay?
Yes.
So we identified that, right? But, right, the purpose of spanning tree is that for redundant links, we are going to make sure that we block to prevent a loop.
Yes.
Okay? So with that being said, there needs to be another election process that happens. Okay?
Right.
So we need to go ahead and within each segment or each triangle, we need to go ahead and decide who's going to be the designated switch and who's going to be the non-designated switch for each segment towards the root.
Got it. I'm with you.
Okay?
Tracking.
So I'm going to help you out. You go ahead and get my handy dandy notebook.
Forwarding state. I got that.
Cool. All right. So can you tell me Okay.
Mm.
With this triangle, okay, who's going to be the designated switch? Feel free to call a lifeline.
I'm calling a
I'm
lifeline.
gonna, it's all good. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to help you guys out. So, you ready, Wayne?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, to determine the designated switch, here's the criteria. The switch with the lowest cost to reach the root on a shared link. Okay? So first we're going to, to go ahead and do that election process, we're going to go based off the lowest cost. If the cost is the same, we're going to go ahead and go based off of the lowest bridge ID. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So, and you know what? I think I drew this triangle wrong. Go ahead
Now I
and-
was looking, I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was with it, but I was like, okay, we're gonna, let's see.
Hey man, we're engineers. Speak up. So I get stuff wrong sometimes. So let's go ahead. And do this. Boom, boom, boom. There's our triangle.
Okay.
Cool.
They're all equal. Okay. I'm
Cool.
with you.
So, with that being said, and thanks for catching it, fellas. So, we know our root on this shared segment, the shared link between switch 3 and switch 6. Okay? From both standpoints, who has the lowest cost to the root?
Mac AAA has the lowest cost.
Mac AA is
So-
the root. The root.
Yep. Mac AA is the root. So what we're trying to compare, hold on, get my handy dandy notebook out again.
As far as
Trying
the
to
roots,
compare this. Hold on. We're trying to compare that and that. Because with the designated switch, what we're saying is, with this redundant link, right?
Mhm.
With these redundant links,
yes.
we want to see who's going to be forwarding traffic always, and on where we're going to be blocking traffic based
Okay,
on this link.
All right, I understand. So being that the cost is equal from both Mac B1 and H5, we're going to go to the election of choosing the lowest bridge ID, which will be B1.
Why are we going to the next election, next tiebreaker?
Because they're equal in cost to get to the designated to the root bridge, but to get to that designated switch, they're equal in cost.
Well,
Okay.
also, well, yeah, too. Well, so when we do it, like you said, it's the cost, but also the priority. He was saying the priority bridge, and that is the priority number at the beginning, then the MAC address. So since they both have the same priority number, the next one would be the lowest MAC address.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
Okay.
Cool. So which switch is going to be the designated switch?
Designated switch will be B1. Mac B1.
Why?
Just again, because when the priorities are the same, so which is we can't identify any priority on it, so they're the same. The MAC address is the lowest bridge ID, has the lowest bridge ID.
Okay.
That's the
Cool.
that was
All right.
that's the goal.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, what does that mean for this link? Who's going to be forwarding traffic and who's going to be blocking traffic?
That means that Mac H5 then will be blocking traffic
On which link?
on the link between switch 3 and switch 6.
Okay. Okay. And what are we doing on the link on the interface on switch 6 going towards switch 3? What's going to be that port state and row there? It's that designated switch.
Switch 6 towards switch 3? It's not already, it's already blocked. I'm confused.
Nope. So I asked you what's going to be the port state and row on switch 6 for gigabit 0/2 going towards switch 3.
Okay, let's put a block on that one. Block state.
You're going to, okay, so we're going to block here. Feel free to call your lifeline.
Think of that again, man.
You can't get in that way. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that.
Can I ask you a
You're gonna
question,
hold
Ryan?
that? Okay. Nope,
Sure.
nope, Zamir, hold on. Nope,
Let's
Zamir, hold
work
on.
to it.
Nope. So let's talk through this, okay? So Wayne, so
Okay.
we're both engineers, right? We're both engineers, right? And
Yes.
within a state of redundancy, right? We have multiple links in case of a failure, okay? So with that being said, right, from switch 3 and switch 6, we have our root ports that are connected to our root, okay? Which is
Yes.
connected to our internet line, okay? So with that being said, right, on switch 3 and switch 6, right, if for some odd reason their root port, that link gets cut, but we're blocking on both the interfaces between switch 3 and switch 6,
Nothing's getting
the
through.
traffic for our end users aren't going nowhere. It's not going to fail over. So I'm going to ask you again, are you sure and positive? That we're gonna be
No, I'm
blocking?
not. That defeats the whole purpose of being
Okay.
able to switch. So remove that from there, and we'll make
Okay.
that forwarding port.
Okay.
State.
And what'll be the port row?
The forwarding role designated.
Good.
Yes, because if something goes wrong, it has to switch. If I already blocked it, it's not going to work. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Nice.
No, I had
Okay.
redundancy. Okay, I get it.
Okay. It's all good. Cool. Now let's do between switch 1, the segment between switch 1, switch 6, and switch 7. Converge that, please.
Okay, switch 1, switch 6, and switch 7. All right, so my dedicated switch. Let's see.
Hey, Jermaine, you still there?
I got it. Give me a second.
No, I'm just asking. I was just asking Jermaine. Jermaine, you still there, buddy? Jermaine probably.
No, I'm here. No, you good, bro. I'm here.
You eating a sandwich, ain't you?
No, I signed up for this late ass MPI shit. I'm listening in. I don't know why I signed up.
All right. Since the root port is on the side of B1, all right, we're going to put a forwarding state on B1 on interface 3. That's the first thing I'm going to do.
Why?
Because C4 is our RP. So I definitely want a clear path to that. So it's designated and forwarding.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
All right, so
So
now
this
I have election of, I have two choices now, election to go with. Next. So by default, again, the priority isn't, they're equal, priorities equal. So then we're going to go to the MAC address to determine which will be chosen. So the lowest bridge ID between the next move, C4 to DD or B1 to DD, would be B1 to DD. So I see designated on interface 0 forwarding.
Okay. So what do you want to do on that interface on switch 6?
Make it,
Switch 7?
yeah, I would go designated forward on that
Why?
one. Again, it has the lowest bridge ID, and we had to make a decision because the RP path was clear which way how we're gonna do that one. So I had to make a choice between C4 and DD, or what's going to be blocked, or what will be forwarded. And because of the lowest ID being B1 over DD and C4, I chose to make it go that path, specifically from B1 to DD. So now I'm looking at, since that's our RP, also on the MAC side, on MAC DD, we have our RP forwarding again. So we know that traffic is going to go in that direction. We know by default.
Okay.
So that means C. Am I wrong on that?
Nope. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So for C4 to DD, we're going to make that our block state.
Why?
By default. There's
never a default.
Not by default.
Reason for everything.
There's not a default. Let's make this clear. We're gonna make one alternate block and one not. So now, again, tiebreaker again between C4 and DD. Which one has the lowest ID state? So I will.
Is that the first test?
No, the first test would be the priority ID.
Nope.
Oh, the speed also of the line. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going to remind you. It's okay. It's all right. I'm going to remind you. So for the election of the designated switch within a segment, first selection process is the lowest cost to reach the route.
Lowest cost
becomes the designated switch on that link. Okay.
Okay.
In the case of a tie, it's going to be the lowest bridge ID.
Yes. Okay. Again, thank you. So, in the first choice, the first election will be the cost being equal for both of those switches, the path. Therefore, the next election would be the MAC ID, being which one would be the lowest bridge ID. So that's why I'm choosing to go in that direction and make the alternate block port 2, interface 2
on switch 7.
On switch 1.
We're gonna okay, cool, positive.
Yes, I'm positive.
So you don't want to call a lifeline?
Let's see. Path 1 hop, 2 hops.
Remember.
No,
Switch
no.
with the lowest bridge ID. Okay.
Yeah, lowest bridge ID. With a lower bridge
Who has the
ID,
lowest bridge ID between
Between-
switch 7 and switch 1?
1. That's going to be, the lowest bridge ID is C4.
Okay, so for that segment, right, that became the designated switch. So that means to
It's
be
the
blocking
opposite.
here, we should be forwarding here, because they are now on this segment, on this triangle, they're the designated switch. And switch 6 is the invisible route for this segment, since it has the lowest cost to the route.
Okay, I mixed them up. Let me write that down. I got it. I think I have a better chance next time. Let's try it. So for interface 2, then that would be the forwarding. It'd be in a forward state.
Okay.
Is this typical, David, that we go through each segment or a triangle to make our decisions?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. This is what the switch is doing. So here's the thing: whenever you take your CCNA or you become a network engineer, you become a cybersecurity engineer. Whenever attacks happen, you have to understand how traffic flows throughout the network. If you don't, that hacker is gonna have a damn day with you if you don't know how everything works.
Exactly. Thank you.
And you're gonna be the one that's in the room that has to explain to the stakeholders, the CEOs, how this shit works. If you can't explain that, go ahead and pack your box and your desk and be ready to get shipped off. The switch is going to do all this for us, but you have to know how to do this manually, how it works in the background.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, it does. All right, I'm ready for the next
Perfect.
round.
Okay. Perfect. And let's do between switch 7, switch 2, and switch 9.
All right. Switch 7, switch 2, and switch 9. All right. Start with switch 9, interface 1, forwarding. Designated
Why?
forwarding. Because
Why?
we have it's connected to the root port. So it by default, you know that we have to have traffic flowing through it.
Is anything by default in networking?
Nothing's by default.
Good.
Nothing's by default. I just see root port forwarding. So because of that, I'm choosing to go in that direction so that
And which interface?
interface 1.
1-1 or 0-1?
It's like a 1-1.
Gotcha. So we're going to be
Thank you.
designated and we're going to be forwarding?
Forwarding, yes. Okay.
So that's going to be forwarding. Okay. What about 0/1? What are we doing now?
All right. DD to CC, DD to AB. Cool. All right. Block state would be the one which is not clear. I'm gonna put on, that's going to be designated forwarding on GI 0/1. I'm looking
Why?
at I see a tie, right? And I'm looking at DD and AB, and I'm seeing the path between the two of them, and I'm looking at the hops. I'm sorry, the cost between them.
Okay.
So I think that the most logical thing to do is to make that one GI 0/1 designated forward, and then put alternate block on 0/1, and then make AB My screen just went dead. Hang on, my screen just went dead. Then make GI1 designated forward.
So you said we're gonna, hold on.
And then block.
We're gonna be blocking here.
Well, could you hold on that one for a
Is that what
second?
you
I'm gonna do my block. I want to do my block last. Do my block last.
Okay.
Yes, I said that, but
Okay.
I'm looking at if I could. I want to make forwarding on the DD to the AB side because of priority ID of AB and the priority ID of CC. So I'm looking at the two of them, and I'm saying, okay, well, the lowest bridge ID for switch 2 is AB. So because of that, I want to take that path.
What about the path from switch 7 to switch 9?
So by default, all right, I'm looking at
Is
these.
anything in networking by default?
Nothing's by default. The wrong word.
Thank you.
Thank you for the correction. So looking at it right now, I'm looking at AB forwarding, and I'd put my, so I will do that next. AB designated forward on GI1/1. No defaults. And now I will block GI0. I'll put my block state on interface interface 01/1 or/1.
Why?
We had a
Why are
tiebreaker.
you gonna block?
We had a tiebreaker on amount of cost.
Okay.
And then I looked at as far as the state, the designated state being forwarded on those two sides. I went and then I chose, I need to have an alternate path for blocking. So I chose that one. And also because its ID was higher than the other two.
Okay, cool. All right, so what about between switch 5, switch 4, and switch 3?
Switch 5, switch 4,
You're gonna do
and
that.
switch 3 and 3. 5, 4, 3. Okay, we got some hops here. Nice. All right, so the cost between,
you're still saying that word.
I'm sorry, oh, not hops. We have the cost between switch 3, all right, switch 5, 4, and 3. I did lifeline. I got a question.
Cool.
Okay,
All right,
Zamir.
so you could choose. Cool. Go ahead.
Yes.
All right, Zamir, I'm looking at switch 8 between 5 and 3, right? But I'm
Wait,
also
you say you're looking at switch. Which one?
switch 8, which is Mac AA, right?
Let me ask you this, David. Is that included, or are you kind of like skipping over that one when you did your
Yeah.
try? David,
I guess we're on
Say it
our
again.
own.
I want to ask David, is switch 8 included in that triangle, or he needs to like bypass that when looking at the other 3?
You're asking me or you're telling me?
I'm asking just for clarity.
I'll let you figure it out.
Let's assume we're not.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Let's assume we're not. So
Okay.
that helps me with my decision making
Okay,
because the cost would be greater.
I
right,
figure where you
cost-
were going
you
with it.
The cost would be greater
You
going.
sure it's not? Let's talk through this. You sure it's not? Because that's the root.
You said 3 to 5.
I'm thinking no, because we just did several triangles that didn't include that as being the root. So if we're staying on that same, agenda,
Okay.
but however, if it is, oh God, David, okay, they are.
Oh man, I dag on it.
So what's your question,
You're-
man?
you're-
Yeah, my question
He
was
said it's the
that.
root.
That
He
was
said it's the root. So we're not gonna. I guess I thought maybe we're gonna rename another one as the root, but he said switch 3, 4, and 5. So
he says switch 3, 4, and 5. He did not say 8 in the description.
that's true.
So
So
let me bring in. I'm gonna bring in Claude for you. Okay. Claude,
Okay.
you still there?
Can you hear me?
Claude, I know this is painful, man, but we have to ask you a question.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my settings right here. Hold on. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
All right. So we have I have to set my ports states, my roles, my states for it between the segment of switch, which is MAC C7, MAC BB, and MAC H5, which switch 3, switch 4, and switch 5. Between them is switch 8. Am I going to ignore that, or am I going to include that in my calculation of cost?
Hold on. You said switch 4, which is in the middle. You said switch what?
3, switch 3,
Switch
left,
3.
and switch 5.
Well,
That was the question.
Okay.
Mac H5, it's a little smaller. He's going between Mac H5, Mac BB, and Mac
And Mac
C7.
7.
So that left
Okay.
bottom corner.
So you're talking about the very outskirts, H5, C7, and BB. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
See, sit in the middle of that is AA. Am I
okay,
to-
so that's your root. That's your root bridge. That's not going to change.
Okay.
That piece is not going to change.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, your root bridge. The rule about your root bridge is that all the ports will be in the designated state, which means they will be in a forwarding role.
Always, of course. Yep. I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So by default, the root bridge ports are in designated forward state. So I can answer this question now. I'm ready to proceed, David. God willing.
You're doing good, Wayne. You've been doing great.
Yeah.
So
Y'all said that last time when I hammered it. It was horrible. I watched the tape.
you remember when I told you haven't been the only one? Go watch some of the other tape. We all
yeah.
been there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready. All right. So let's start. Yes. All right. Designated forward from switch 5, which is C7, interface I0/3.
Why?
I went by the rule on checking for the priorities being the same, and then I went to MAC addresses, which one had the lowest bridge ID. So that being the case, looking at the pass between them, I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Make that thing designated forward.
Positive?
Yes.
Okay. What's next?
Okay. We got a root port there, so we know that one's good. We're going to make that designated. Just put it forwarding. Excuse me, just forwarding, because we have a root port on that, so we know that's forwarding. So right where the RP's at for Mac BB, I would add a forwarding tag to that. States to that. Excuse me. And Mac C7 too. Interface 3. I'm gonna
What
block.
are you gonna do between?
I'm gonna
gonna
put
block
an
here?
alternate block there.
Why?
I'm again priorities being the same. Then I'm looking at the cost being equal. I chose to do it that way.
Okay.
Just got to put a forwarding state on underneath BB.
Okay. All right. What about? Hold on. I think I'm blocking the switch name. Let me tear that down a little bit. All right. Cool. So between switch 4, switch 2, and switch 5, what are we doing?
Which 4, 2, and 5. Okay, that's going to stay the same. All right, let's start with interface on switch MAC address BB with switch 4. We're going to go to interface 2 and make that a forwarding, designated forwarding.
Why?
I examined hang on a second. AB to C7. I'm looking at the rules concern. I'm looking at the state. I see a forwarding state coming off of AB. All right, so I know that being that MAC, that switch has a RP in that direction. Things are moving forwarding. I'm not messing with that side. Then I'm now looking at from switch 4 to C7, and I'm seeing a forwarding on that one as well. Hang on a second. Let's back up. So then I have a couple of states that I see interface G7 10. I have to deal with that one, or I have to deal with interface BB and interface AB. So I'm looking at those two. Which one would be the one I would forward and which one I would block? So the next move I went to was to look at the rule concerning the lowest bridge ID number. So we know which one is the highest bridge ID out of all of them, and that is C7. So I left C7 alone and went right to BB and AB.
Okay.
I chose, I could just go with, let's just do it in order. Let's go to AB first, switch 2, and make that designated forward first, because let's go with lowest number first. So I'm in order.
Okay. Why?
Because again, the destination, the priority IDs is all equal. I then went to the rule of costs being all equal between them. Then from there I went to the lowest the lowest bridge ID. So that made AB being the lowest. I chose that to be the forwarding state, being a forwarding state between AB and BB.
Okay.
All right, so now we're down to 2, and then there was 2. So we can see right now we have a forwarding state coming out of switch 4 to C7. All right, that's taken care of, but we have an opening between a non-designated right now. Non-designated is right, C7 to CC. We're going to choose this one between the other two. Again, or actually to switch 2, excuse me. So using the rules again, using this, we discussed before concerning the order, I looked at BB to being that it had a lower bridge ID than C7, but C7, again, C7 to CC and up to AB. I want to pull a lifeline to ask one question before I put this block in.
Go ahead.
All right. What's the other gentleman's name? Let me call him.
Well,
Is it Carlos? No, we have one more. We have Carlos or somebody
Yep.
else. Okay, Carlos, I have a question concerning C7 state. If you look between C7 and switch 2,
Yep. Yep.
and then we have BB to AB, right? I would like to choose designated forward for interface 2 on MAC address BB. That's what I'd like to do, and I would like to then decide on blocking GI 10 on C7, and then making the forwarding one switch 9. And the reason why I'm saying to do that, and I'm asking you a question, is because I'm looking at the number, the bridge ID, excuse me, of max CC being higher than C7. So that's why I think I should block GI 10. Do you think that's correct on switch 5?
Switch 5, you're wanting to see if it's going up the switch.
Could you repeat that again?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Did you consider the cost first and then you're looking for the bridge ID? So which, in this situation, right, does AB, which is the lowest cost of the root bridge?
Okay, lowest cost. We're not
The
going
triangle.
that.
We're looking at a triangle from AB, BB, and C7, right? That's a triangle we're looking at.
Oh, we're not. I'm sorry. I was looking at a different. I was looking at BB. So we're looking at BB.
AB
Switch.
on the right
Switch.
to BB to C7. Is not now the triangle we're looking at?
So Wayne,
Yes, the C7. I'm sorry. I got lost for a second. Yes, exactly what we're looking at.
it's all good. It's all good. So I
But-
marked this on purpose to give you a hint. Okay.
Oh wait,
I
wait,
asked
wait.
you to
This is the triangle, Antoine.
No, try.
No,
Between
this wasn't the
AC and
original
C7?
triangle that I mentioned. No, this wasn't the original triangle that I mentioned. Again, what I asked was a trick question. Okay.
All right.
Because
RP.
switch 4 doesn't have a direct link to the root, does it? So if it doesn't have a direct link, with all the knowledge that you have about converging, break this topology down into smaller triangles. You have switch 5 that's connected to the root, switch 8. You have switch 9 that's directly connected to the root. You still have a segment that you haven't converged between switch 5 and switch 9. You figure that out, you can figure everything else out.
Yeah. So
Make
again,
sense?
yeah, it does. So again, that's my question, but I think that you helped answer it. We're going to block. we're gonna block alternate block on
Why?
C7
Why?
because one, it's one of the only ones that doesn't have a designated route. Everything else already has one
Nope,
assigned to it.
nope, that's not our determining factor. What's our determining factor?
Well, it's also the
blocking.
lowest bridge ID number, and then we have the amount of the cost between what will be the most expensive cost. If the costs are equal, then we're going to something else.
The
So-
lowest bridge ID is the tiebreaker to determine the designated switch. It's the lowest cost. So we see here on switch 5 and switch 9, they have the same cost. So we went down to the tiebreaker, which is the lowest bridge ID,
Yes,
and we see what?
we see that GI 1/0 should be the one that is blocked because it, meaning MAC C7, has a higher bridge ID than MAC CC, which is switch 9.
Excellent. Excellent. And what are we doing on switch 9?
Switch 9, we're going to have that designated forward state.
Why?
In the event that something goes wrong, we need it to be able to move traffic through it. Meaning in the event that the state of C7 changes, we need traffic to be able to move through it. I don't want to have redundancy here with two block ports facing each other.
Don't go down a rabbit hole. Let's keep it simple.
Okay,
Switch 9 won the election, so it's going to be assigned a designated port on that link. Okay.
Switch 9 won the election, so it would be a designated port.
Did I hear rabbit hole? Somebody
You
say
sure
rabbit
did.
hole?
I sure said something.
Yeah, it's called favorite word. It's called love the rabbit hole.
Okay. That was painful, but we got through it.
It's all good. It's all good. So now, right? You're doing excellent, by the way. I want you to look at this topology and see what you've done. You converged topology. You converged this topology. Almost at 90%. You're almost at 100%. So let's bring it home with what we have. We got 2 links left.
All right. I see it. We got Mac BB to C4.
Sure.
And then we have Mac BB to switch 2.
Good. What are you going to do?
Let's do it. All right. So, all right. Since Mac AB has a forwarding designation, I'm going to put forwarding state on interface 002 on Mac BB.
Why?
Why? Because we want, no, I don't want alternate. I want forwarding. No, I don't want to block that. No, we don't want to block that. I do not want to block that. I want to forward designate. What you trying to do? Set me up? I didn't ask for that. Give me designated forwarding on that one.
Or designated forward.
Don't block it. I had an election because we have, first of all, costs are equal. And then we had priority being unknown or equal, excuse me. So then I went to MAC addresses. I chose the lowest bridge ID. So BB and AB, since AB is already selected, it's forwarding designated, the selection is, state is already selected. I then went to BB, which is facing it, and chose to be designated forward.
And that's your reason?
That's my reason. I know it's probably a better one. That's probably a better one, but also as far as cost, again, the costs are equal between them. So.
Okay. So what about between switch 4 and switch 1?
Switch 4 and switch 1. I'm going to go with, I chose, we had a tiebreaker again. And being that we had a tiebreaker with priority and cost, we went down to MAC address, choosing the one with the lowest bridge ID. That would be MAC BB. So with that being the case, I'm going to make that one designated forward. And switch, since Mac BB won the election, that means that switch 1's 0/0 port would be alternate block.
Positive?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Somebody double check me here. We got all our port states and rows set on each switch.
Perhaps I do want to ask Wayne a question.
Please.
Because sometimes when you're going through the process, you got the process right, but I think you got to remember, why are you going through the process? So like even for Mac BB to Mac AB, when you said, and I know you said one already had designated, but I want you to look when we say, okay, they might have the same lowest cost, whatever, and you're saying I'm just breaking it down and I'm going by priority number and then I'm going by the lowest MAC address to determine what? Because if they're both designated, then why are you doing that if they're both just designated? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I mean, really, the rule isn't because it was already there. The correct thing to say is that we had an election.
But I'm not talking about your wording. I'm asking why did you do that? To determine what? Which one is what and which one is what?
Oh, to determine.
And same thing with Mac AB to Mac DD.
We covered that in the very first section.
Because at the other end of designated port is a root port, and if it's not a root port, then it's a what?
If it's not a root port, then it's either in a forward state or a non-designated state.
What is non-designated?
Blocked.
Exactly.
My man. Finally getting it.
So
Yes.
if you're
Finally getting it.
so designated and designated, when they're saying like the links we have left, they mean the ones that aren't connected to the root bridge. So after we go through every switch and we determine the root port, the designated port, then you have a link left in the middle like Mac BB and Mac AB, and then you run through the process of determining, what's the lowest cost, what's the, lowest priority number, what's the lowest MAC address. That's to determine which end you're blocking and which end you're leaving as designated.
To determine which end I'm blocking and which end I'm leaving as designated. Got it.
Right. And the one with the lowest gets the designated and the other side is automatically blocked. But I'm not sure designated is gonna ever be across from a designated. It's gonna either be on the other end of a block port like C4 to BB or the other end of a root port.
Nice. I see it now. I can see it in the Chrome typography.
So I think you'll
Wayne,
do
how
that.
do you
And you
think-
say, no, I'll just forward that one, but I want you to remember why you're determining those things.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank
Wayne, how
you.
do you think you did?
I started out really, really rough, but I think towards the middle, I understood what I needed to do. I need to work better on speaking the proper vernacular as a network engineer.
Okay. All right. Claude, Carlos, what do you guys think? How do you do?
I think you did wonderful.
It's wonderful, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your help. This is amazing, man. Like I'm
Yeah,
looking at this and I can
and
see
Wayne-
it now.
Wayne,
Yes.
I have to correct myself. When I say hop, I'm incorrect. That is what you would refer to on RIP and routing protocols, but for span entry, we wouldn't say hop. I was trying to make that way too simple, but incorrect. So it has to be cost. You have to say cost. So let's say you have two different links or two different ways to get to the root bridge. If you have three different hops, I was trying to say, it would be 4, 4, and 4. That would be a cost of 12. Versus if you had one next link directly, it would be 4. So that is what I was trying to say. So it's not hops, it's cost. So just wanted to correct myself there.
Right. So on a layer 2, we're dealing with costs. On a layer 3, we deal with hops. Is that correct?
Span entry, you don't say hop. It's cost. The first
Yes.
cost,
Yes.
the link, then the lowest bridge ID, then you look for the lowest cost to the root bridge. So
But if we're dealing
when
with
you were saying hops,
in a network layer, a network protocol, which we're not dealing with now, since we're dealing with a LAN, we're going to use cost to determine. But when we're dealing with a network layer, we could say hop. Is that correct?
yes. When you start to
I
use
want
like
to also
RIP,
say this. Span
you say
entry
hop.
is not at network layer. It's only at layer 2.
Layer 2.
Exactly. That's why we're using the term cost.
So that's why these guys were saying, do not say hop. Because
I get,
span
yes.
entry, that would be inaccurate.
Thank you.
And that's
Thank
why
you.
we also use the MAC addresses because they're at layer 2 as well.
Thank you. I'm smiling. You can see me here. If you can see my face, I'm smiling because
I told you was gonna do good. I told you that
Yeah,
like
man.
2 weeks ago. I said
B.
you'll have some support. I told
Yeah.
you that.
Man, it's good stuff, man. Man, I wish they taught this
I'm
to
good.
us at the beginning. Like this. I wish I learned it like this.
I'll talk. Hey, man, you're in the Jedi Academy now, man. So you're in the Jedi Academy, and you're sitting with Darth Maul, But when you want to go to layer 3, I'll shoot you over to Mace Windu, aka Claude, and he'll have fun with you there.
Okay, so the next one up, the next, you know I'm about to say, but I'll be quiet. I think I'll wait. But you know what I want to ask next? I'm glutton for punishment.
And so I'm testing out your topology. What I'm doing is I'm making sure there isn't a loop. Okay.
Okay.
If there's a loop anywhere here, man, okay. Okay. Boom. Okay. Cool. Okay. Perfect. That way. That way. And oop, 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 oop. Okay. Traffic over this way. Okay. I don't see a loop. Unless I'm missing something. Looks like Wayne might have been done good.
Yep.
Did a great job.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah, looks like Wayne did good. Don't see a loop.
Thank you for your
Yeah, I don't
patience. Thank you, fam, for your
I don't see a
patience.
loop, brother.
I
You did
appreciate it.
wonderful.
Man, that was a little rough in the beginning, but man, I get it.
It's all good, brother.
Jeez.
It's all good. Does it make sense now?
Yeah, I just want to bone up on using the right vernacular, just practicing.
So in time, okay? So give yourself some grace. In time, that'll come with time. So just like a video game, it comes with experience. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, I play Super Mario Brothers like everybody else. But I'm gonna die if I haven't played in a while, by the little turtle guy. But if I play it for a little time, for a little while, boom, boom, I'm gonna get my little cape. I'm gonna be flying all over the stage. All right? But that comes with experience. Just like network engineering, bro. It comes with experience in time. So get up on Packet Tracer, have fun with it. But also, right, I'm sure you've seen the picture earlier that I made, right? Go ahead and you chilling on your lunch, pen and a piece of paper, create a small topology, and just go ahead and converge that topology.
Nice.
Something, let me share my other screen. Hold on. There it is. Something like that. Just draw
Right.
this. Something like that. Converge.
That one has more, more rules that are involved because we have different speeds.
Exactly.
Conversion times.
But
I can see it. Cost 19, cost 4, and that changes things. Yeah.
right, and don't get too involved in the details, right? You can give it whatever you want to give it. Gig links. Let's go ahead and just work on the skill of converging. Okay, you do that. Give it some simple costs. All costs are 4. Make it simple. Okay. Once you do that, you understand how it works, and in other sessions we'll talk more about it, right? And we'll do a Wireshark or what have you. I wanted you to get in the habit of being able to converge it just with your eyes. No CLI, no nothing. Once you can do that, everything else is going to make sense.
Okay.
Wayne, you came at the right time because we had a Superman topology. That's how we had to learn, and it was like it was double the one we did tonight with 3 different speeds. And I was like, I rewrote that thing out like 6 or 7 times. But I did it. I was committed to try it, but I was like, every time I look and be like, wait, Oh, they had one with no speed on there, and I didn't see they put in the group that they found out what the speed was. So I was like, maybe that's just not being used. It was just bad. It was like,
Wow. Yeah, shoot. Yeah.
Good stuff, brother.
When you did
Good
wonderful.
stuff.
I appreciate
Good
the
stuff,
support.
man.
I appreciate support from everybody. Really. A lot of love, man.
All,
And
all
patience.
good, man. All good, man. So you did good. Get some rest. Like I said, our next session probably be 2 Wednesdays from now. So because we're doing it bi-weekly.
Okay.
So it'll be 2 Wednesdays from now, and we'll probably continue our project. Or in the case of if somebody has a topic that they need to discuss for work or they're just stuck on, we'll go ahead and just make that the topic of Wednesday. Okay? Because learning is more important than doing a project. Okay?
Feel you. I'm tracking.
hey,
All right,
thank you,
folks.
David.
Well,
Thank you, Claude.
on
Thank you, everybody.
on that note,
And thank you, Claude. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Zamir. David, thank you.
More than welcome.
Yeah,
More than
man.
welcome,
We
brother.
out here. Well, we ready. We told you 2 weeks ago it was gonna go like this.
Oh, man. Shoot. I'm glad you didn't get that to me day one. My gasket would have blown.
Look, it's
I
all
know
good,
we'll
man.
send you
did
to the
good, brother.
bathroom again.
Oh, don't worry. There's been a few in the group that got it on day one. You know, there's been a couple in the group.
They will tell you when we first did this, and David said root bridge. You should have seen how I felt. I had never even heard of root bridge. I was looking like, wait, we were just wait. Oh, it got bad quick. I was like, okay, let me try this study up. I'll sharpen my skills. I'm like, I never heard of Spanish tree, root bridge. Like,
Man, yeah, I might have heard the term maybe once, and when I first heard it in Sec Plus, and maybe or SZA, and I was like, what? And they didn't talk about it anymore, like in detail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Because, not like this.
Here's the thing, and here's the thing, right? You have to know how traffic flows through your network to be able to protect it. If you don't, what value do you add as a security officer with an organization? There's no value because you can't see what these hackers are doing if you can identify what they're hacking. It's the traffic that they're hacking, that they're attacking. Okay? And so this is why everybody, whether you want to specialize in being a network engineer or if you want to specialize in cybersecurity, you have to know the fundamentals of networking, how traffic flows. Okay? Dude, you did awesome. You did excellent. I'm super proud of you. Like I said, and like everybody have told you, everybody's gonna mess up, and my goal is to putting everybody in the gulag is I want everybody to be better than me. I went into an interview just like this to where I got caught with my pants down. You can read all day, every day and think you know it, but if you can't talk through it, you don't add value, you really don't know it. Okay.
Yep.
So keep pacing, keep rolling. You have a whole community. You got everybody that's on here, and people that are not on here. You can ask for help. Hey, can somebody explain to me BBDUs, right? And dude, they're more than willing to go ahead and share 5 minutes with you to talk about it. Okay. Sounds
great. That's great.
All
very
right.
encouraged from this experience, and I can't say enough, man. I feel like blogging about it.
Hey man, I got you. I'll make sure I'll go ahead and put it on YouTube. Not sure if you're on Twitter. It will be on Twitter as well, so everybody will see your great skill of now being able to converge a topology. Okay.
This is all new to me. We'll talk a little bit offline about this, but yeah, thank you, David. I appreciate it for sure.
No problem, brother.
Good experience.
All good. All right, fellas. Well, you guys have a great night. I will talk to you next week.
All right,